Hello and welcome to Tachyon Triage. I'm Brandy, and today we're going to talk about the enemy of my enemy alliance. And forgive me, I'm doing the very best that I can to keep up with all of these downloads because they're happening. So, there's an old military proverb that says the enemy of my enemy is my friend. It's a brilliant tactical move when you're fighting a war. And some of you might have visited the video that I did about being in this survival mode and fighting for survival mode, even though it was sort of in the subconscious. This is sort of building upon that energy. But if you and I both have the same threat, then we team up, we build a shield, and we survive, right? But what happens when the war ends, right? And that's been the question, right? The divine reset. What happens when the war ends? You keep using the same energy strategy to run this sort of program in your adult life, your friendships, your career, et cetera, et cetera. Today, we're diving into this enemy of my enemy alliance, where we're going to look at the psychological traps of bonding over shared, low vibrational energy or survival mechanism. So trauma bonding as well can fall under this. You insert here what you feel, and how it tricks your nervous system, and why the ultimate hidden enemy you've been fighting this whole time isn't a person at all. It's not a thing. It's stagnation. And your true ally is life, living. So think about how these alliances form. Usually they start in childhood or early in a career or early in like a social construct. Maybe some triangulation occurs, or during a crisis. Maybe you allied with a family member to survive a toxic, addicted parent. I can relate to that. Or maybe as a professional, you allied with burnout coworkers to survive a brutal ass work environment, of a failing structure or terrible management or just a broken system. Okay. In that moment of high stress, your brain tricks you. It tells you that because this other energy stands against that threat, that it must be safe. And you mistake this shared energy frequency for genuine intimacy. And that is absolutely not the case. It's not the case. But look closely at the currency of the relationship itself. And that's really important, like the awareness of social constructs, the awareness of self, the awareness of partnerships or partners' energies, right? The awareness of the undercurrent of what's going on. And what do you actually talk about within those constructs with those individuals? If you were around someone just to vent about something, what happens if you stop venting about it or you stop focusing on that? Does the conversation fall dead completely? And you may have noticed some relationships that this is happening to recently because of the shift in octave, the change in the signal. Okay, the static's being cleared out. If the only thing holding a bond together is this shared survival energy, that's not friendship. That's not a partnership. That's not relationship. That's not family. It's a war council. That's what that is. That's a survival council. A war council requires permanent war to stay in the relevancy of the energy. And a lot of you are stepping out of that energy where you feel like you need to fight all the time. So what it is energetically for me was this ultimate enemy of death. Okay. I, in a couple of videos back, talked about, well, it's a bunch of videos back now, talked about submission was the equivalent to death. Okay. And this was a philosophy that I had built, and it was sort of me fighting to survive. But here's the breakthrough and the realization that you're making in this current energy. you mistake this energy, because this is what I did. And this might not resonate with you, and that's fine. You don't have to watch this. There's other content, but you think that the enemy is a bad manager. It's poor management. It's immoral energy. It's weaponized leadership and you know weaponized seniority. Okay, it's a lack of contribution, a slow corporate thing moving, or toxic ex partners. Okay, insert here what this is, but those are literally just the shadow casting. You know, the ultimate hidden enemy you have been fighting your whole life is actually death, not just a physical death, no, but the death of your potential. Okay, the death of morality, the death uh of things being done the right way with just morality in mind. The death of people using corruption against you, right, is really what needs to happen. But there's people that's using corruption within structures that is threatening your survival within those structures, and those structures are dissolving, which is why you're seeing so much of this like energy come to the forefront. The decay of your peace is a big one too. The slow, heavy stagnation of staying trapped in a survival mode. When you stay in these enemy of my enemy alliances, you think you're defending yourself. Hell, you might even forget what you're fighting for, or take on battles that isn't necessarily like all your responsibility. But you're actually drinking their potion. Okay, like their poison, let's call it. You're drinking their poison, their potion, whatever you want to say. You're freezing your life in a state of hypervigilance, permanently looking backward at a threat that is not there anymore, waiting for the roof to cave in. Now, for me, this was my fourth house, Scorpio moon, and the falling foundation of my childhood. Okay. And that constant fight was just exhausting. And it is a literal micro death of joy. It's a micro death of creativity, of your freedom. You cannot defeat decay by throwing punches at it. You cannot defeat this like this. So, how do you win? Well, I'll tell you, I figured it out. You turn your back on the battlefield and you align with the ultimate force of life. That is the paradox, the duality to the energy. You live your life, you go out, you have fun, you experience life, you have fun. Okay? Because life is evolution. It is. It is forward progression. It is a forward momentum. It's expansion, it's adaptation and growth. Evolution doesn't look backwards at the wreckage. It relentlessly forces life forward to break through the dark dirt, to find the sun, to find your essence, to find your signal. Okay. And when you choose life as your ally instead, because this is really what this is about, your strategy changes completely. Your life changes completely. You stop over explaining your boundaries to chaotic people. You stop joining rebellious shit built on gossip. You stop fighting battles that aren't yours to fight. You stop fighting with energy where you know it's not going to create a change. What's the point in that? If they lack the ability to understand, you're wasting your energy. It could be better utilized for something else. You stop treating temporary life delays as existential threats. A true sovereign energy comes into your frequency, and you own that. Your authority, you own that. So true sovereignty doesn't need a clique to protect them, a faction, anything like that, a group. Your skills, your value, point blank, period, and your autonomy are your absolute security. Okay. You don't have to fight to keep the world from ending anymore. It's not your responsibility. The house is no longer falling. That's what I had to realize. I survived, and you may have survived a terrible survival phase in your life, but the war is over. you are allowed to dissolve the war council. You don't have to be in that anymore. Thank the shields that kept you safe and walk through the castle gates into peace, because that's what it is. Stop fighting the decay and start feeding your evolution. It's so important. If this video has opened your eyes, drop a comment below. Are you currently holding on to an alliance that's keeping you stuck in the mud? This is really serious. Let's pull some cards on this energy just to see where we're at. Now, this is going to be timeless, but I don't know. I'm getting so many downloads and hits. It's been hard to keep up with the flow. So be patient with me. I'm doing the very best I can. I've got a person on a bicycle, two people actually riding a bike here. I've got a rocking horse. It looks like something from childhood. I have a shark. Maybe there's sharks in the water. Okay. There's just sharks around you. I've got an anchor. I've got a cat. Okay. I've got an owl. Two owls, excuse me. Owl one, owl two. I've got another anchor. So we've got two anchors, two owls. Okay. So knowing, seeing the things that are going on. And then an elephant never forgets. Fourth house, worth, Jupiter, and Neptune dissolution. So we've got some um dissolvement of a belief system that you felt like you needed to have in order to expand, or you are dissolving with whom you are expanding with here, because the worth is not the same. Okay, it's not the same situation. What you have, your personal resources, you're wanting to expand with someone who is more like, I'm not saying not with anyone, because there's this energy from me to we that I'm picking up on, and having alliances of people who also feel the same frequency. So don't feel like this is like alone. It's building a foundation with other people here who also feel this way, that they don't need to fight these sort of battles for survival. It's more about like expressing this wisdom and expanding and like really allying with life as you move forward, and knowing that life's ultimate ally is evolution. Okay, especially when environments turn hostile, you're really need to lean into that evolution. And it creates this, it's this energy of where life changes its shape, genetic code even, and like behavior in order to survive rather than to go extinct. So evolution is very much in this energy frequency here. There's a symbiosis in the energy, so don't take this reading as you're by yourself. No, there's a symbiosis. Life thrives by teaming up with other people who also want to align with life, who want to have the ally of life and evolution. That will be the driving force. Keeping the ecosystem in perfect balance, right? I just heard, what is that? The universal law that all organized systems naturally degrade into disorder and chaos over time. I don't know. Take it as it resonates. Queen of Pentacles, Ten of Cups. See, guys, I'm telling you, it's like knowing that you are sharp and abundant and enjoying this. The Ten of Cups is like happiness, it's prosperity, it's joy, it's family, it's harmony, it's satisfaction, right? It's in the fourth house this year with worth, having aligning and building foundation. Maybe it's chosen family here of the same worth. Okay, where it's a yes, where there's an energy here of happiness and sincere alliance. A true wish come true. Seeing it from a different perspective on who you need to ally with, who you need to align with, and making that right decision. And suspending action towards the war, suspending action towards fighting in places where your action isn't going to cause change. I'm liking this energy a lot. Like, it is really good. Air energy, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Like communicating with people who understand, who evolve. Those are all evolutionary energies right there, you know? Letting go, letting go, letting go, making room for new beginnings. It's on its way to you. What's on its way to you? Life, the 10 of Pentacles. That's what's on its way to you. Letting go of what needs to go. And I feel like for some of you, there is this energy where you might get certain people come back around after they are also releasing this fight, this war. And a lot of this energy right here that I'm picking up is where I come forward and spoke about how I was in this fight mentality for survival. And now I am sort of creating life as an ally for myself, learning how to have fun again, learning how to create, learning how to not have to hide behind this mask of strength. And really understanding signal and understanding signal words. An example, healer, protector, right? That was in some of the readings. Seeking to preserve, but what are you seeking to preserve? It's life, right? Living life is the cure to death. Not trying to hold on to things that you can't deal with. You can stop fighting. You can just enjoy what you have, enjoy what is in front of you, enjoy life, and experience the happiness, you know. I hear embodied unified soul, essence, spirit. I'm hearing that. There's also some energy where I'm picking up some like recoding of the DNA. And in some ways, this is a terrible thing to say, but the paradox is death would be the ultimate cure, right? Because it puts you back in the reset of the cycle where you're in that waiting room between life and death, and then the cycle will repeat. But just understanding that, oh, okay, I get it. Understanding that the universal law that all organized systems naturally degrade into disorder and chaos over time is a part of the natural order of things. It is. And by leaning into this symbiosis with other people who are allying with life, you are able to have a fulfilled energy here. Okay. Anything else that I need for? I've had to learn how to have fun again. Patience. Good things come to those who wait. And I feel like you've spent enough time waiting, but I feel like you're not going to like spend more energy just suspended. Okay, you're going to go out and live your life. You're going to go out and have fun. And that's what I want for you. I want you to go to the beach. I want you to go on vacations. I want you to experience life. I want you to go on the hike. Of course, if you can do that, you know your limitations. I want you to learn how to do the thing you want to do. I want you to spend time with your kids, spend time with those that you love, your family. I want you to experience your life. I want you to have happiness and a life that is fulfilling. And you can only do that by being actually present within that life. You have to find a way to ally with life and not be stuck in this survival mode, because I feel like the survival mode is robbing you of your vitality, robbing you of the happiness that you truly, truly deserve. The 10 of Pentacles is here for the taking. You know, joy. Go play with your inner child, you know, or play with kids. You know what I mean? Like, go swing with your children, or, get on a swing set, go down the slide. I mean, don't get hurt. Obviously, I'm not trying to tell you to do some things that's going to get you hurt. You need to use your discernment. Okay. Don't ever do anything off of a tarot reading. You are the interpreter of your life, and the end all be all goes to you. That's the way it is. And these readings are just to confirm something that you already know. Okay. But, enjoy life. So, really, really, the enemy of my enemy alliance is aligning with life and no longer trying to fight death anymore. And I'm not saying like don't be healthy and things like this. Like, do the things, like, be kind to yourself, love yourself, go out and enjoy your life. These times of reset where we step out and we do go on vacation and stuff like that, it's a generator. It gives you energy in order to recalibrate why you do the things you do, right? It's necessary to have this fun. It's necessary to enjoy life. That is what you're here to do, to enjoy your life. Now, I'm not saying be impulsive. I'm saying align with and ally with life. And that is what I got for you. So hopefully you got something from this. Comment down below, like I said, if you like this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with someone who is also ready to lay down their sword. Stay sovereign, and I'll see you guys in the next video. So until next time, stay and attack you on mine and stay aligned. I love you.